Oh man, and just as we say that. Alright, Harry, how's it looking?
It's looking good. I'm ready.
Alright, damn, that was quick. Alright, we need our timer, which I believe Moonblaze will be handling.
Woo! Woo!
Demon Tower. Demon Tower.
Yep, we are ready to go whenever you're all ready.
I'm ready here.
Alright, yeah, give us a countdown. Let's get into it. Let's get into it.
I'm waiting to see game feed.
All right. I'm gonna start in 3, 2, 1. You're asking me to do the countdown, right?
Oh yeah, I am assuming that Blaze is here watching.
Okay, awesome. Okay, 3.
It's like we're all good on the front end, so you're all set.
All right, here I go. 3, 2, 1.
Good luck. Okay, so straight into it. You're the runner of this game. You should introduce yourself and the game, I suppose. I'm just helping commentate.
Yeah, yeah, Harry, if you want to tell us who you are, what you're doing. I guess more about this game. This sub game.
If not,
Or is he
I can
muted?
totally keep going. Because I know a lot about this game as well. I'm another runner.
Oh, it makes sense to me. Have at it.
Well, I mean, some people here, I hope, might know the Night in the Woods full game. And yeah, this is obviously the little mini game inside that. And little top-down, little hack and slash kind of dungeon crawler game. It's almost random. What do you call it? Roguelike. It's semi-roguelike. So the enemies in each room are going to be random, but the locations where he's picking up these keys from the chest are going to be in the same direction each time. So the goal of each level is to get these keys, and that'll let you unlock the boss door.
Are the enemies themselves randomized?
There's like a different pool of enemy for each level kind of thing, but then each room you go into is going to have a random amount of them. So yeah, you can get good RNG, you can get bad RNG. Let's hope we don't get a marathon luck, as they say. And already through the second level.
I would imagine for a short run that's probably kind of important.
Yeah, especially since if you die on this game, you have to start from the very beginning of whichever level you died on, even if you die in the boss fight. But yeah, the first two bosses that we've seen there have been very simple ones. They kind of stay still. The first boss is basically you hit him once and he dies and he never attacks you, so that's all again. But yeah, on this third level, going into this third boss, that's where things get tricky, as well as more RNG heavy because the boss moves around, and it really helps to get him close to a wall to get quicker hits on him. So the way you want to hit enemies in this game, it's like you have a slash your sword button, you have a dash button. That's the two buttons in the game. But you can only slash your sword a certain amount of times while you're standing still until you get tired. And then you have to move around to be able to dash your sword, slash your sword again. As you can see, sometimes when the line appears above the character's head, the lines appear above the character's head here, after slashing the boss a few times. So yeah, this boss just spawns a loads of enemies, and we try to ignore them and just deal with the boss, because when he dies they all disappear. So that's boss 3. Sorry if I'm slightly behind. We're also checking these little shifty guys at the beginning of some of the levels, because this is the good ending, and they give you a secret code to get the final key in the final area to unlock the good ending. more about the mechanics. When you dash, you get iframes, so you can avoid hits. Especially, you have to traverse over these like blood rivers, which damage you if you walk into them. So you have to use the iframes from dashing over them. But you lose those iframes as soon as you slash your sword. So the way you want to do it is kind of start dashing and then slash your sword as you move towards an enemy. And that kind of enables you to damage them from a far greater range away while having iframes kind of at the same time. This fourth boss is very scary, does 2 damage per hit. And as you might have noticed, you lose a health each new level. So we started the game with the full health, and you can see the health, the cat head containers at the top left. Have 2 grayed out ones now, or 3 grayed out ones as we move on to the next level. Still on the final level, there's 10 levels. On the final level you only have 1 health remaining. But, as a plus side, on the plus side, you get an extra dash with each level that you go through as well. Which means more iframes. And faster movement. You can kind of chain your dashes together if you use them all at the same time. In the right order, one after the other. And they get longer each time if you get the timing right. We're seeing more fireball enemies in the library now. The enemies getting stronger through the different zones. Sometimes you can sneak around them, sometimes you have to clear a room of enemies depending on whether you need to wait to open that chest, because it takes so long to open this chest with the keys in. And if you get interrupted by being hit by an enemy while you're opening the chest, you have to start the whole process all over again. And the same goes for opening boss doors and such. Give the Mice Writers boss. Don't know how far through where I'm probably watching slightly behind, but see a classic kind of dungeon slime boss where it splits and splits and splits again. And hopefully we get to see some cool movement for clearing this boss quickly. I think we're playing it safe. But if you kind of slash your sword and continuously dash over and over again, you can get the iframes right that you can kind of dash through everything while hitting them. And making it to the door as well, so if you make it to the door after a boss fight, you get to open the door without having to go through the little animation. Normally you do a little victory animation leaning on your sword after a boss fight, which is slow, so if you start opening the door you get to skip it. But yeah, solid stuff. Solid stuff considering the randomness of this game. So far.
I was just thinking about how full-fledged this is just for like a side game inside an indie game.
Yeah, it makes you think maybe he made this game first and then added in as well. I don't know. I don't know the exact origin of it. But that isn't. Yeah, it's not like it's a perfect game. There's definitely lots of janky deaths that can happen. You can get stun locked against doors and stuff, especially with these red guys.
Yeah, look at this right here.
So the button that makes you dash is the same button that you hold down to open doors. So if you're ever next to a door and you try to dash, you just open the door instead. You can't dash anymore. So if you're getting hit next to a door, you can't get out of there. You die. This boss is the first one with its own iframes kind of thing, so you have to actually like delay your hits in between. That was a pretty clean boss. Not pausing to let him throw his fireballs that he throws if you leave him alone. And this is the first level. We've got some bad RNG. in terms of their enemy patterns appearing here. So this is the first level where you can get these brown hooded guys who throw daggers, and they're probably the worst enemy to fight in the game. So they're really hard to hit, and they can just teleport everywhere and follow you everywhere as well. Making good use of like chaining together dashes now to get those iframes across the spikes and the blood. And since you have so many dashes, you can just about stay alive over things like that. Whew. Okay, not too bad RNG in this chest room though, because there's no brown-hooded guys in here. But you do have to get past the fireballs. You can't slash your sword while dashing through fireballs, so unfortunately, you have to kind of dash first. But if you dash exactly through a projectile, you get to kind of counter it. You can hear this little bloop noise if it happens. So I'd say this is the second hardest level in the game, and then level 7, can't remember if this is level 6 or 7, yeah I think level 7, the next one is the hardest level in the game. But we haven't had, oh in fact, there's a possibility you can get like a completely terrible random sequence of events in this level we've just had, so that one of the layouts just before the boss door is pretty impossible to pass. So we didn't get that, luckily. You can have a blood river like right in front of the door, so you can't stand to open the door at all. And we have this boss where you can't stand where they've previously walked. So leave the trail of blood. But if we do it perfectly, then you can get the boss fight to end just in front of the boss door. So that you skip the animation. But that's fine, it's only a couple of seconds for that victory animation leaning on the silver. So onto the hardest level. Because, and the reason it's the hardest level, said before, is because of all of these flippin' brown teleport behind you kids, cloaked, horrible enemies. The best way to deal with them, honestly, is hope they just land on spikes themselves and kill themselves. And you only have 3 health at this point, so that's where it starts to get difficult health-wise. So yeah, this is the scary one.
Rough. Only 3 health by this point, damn.
You can see the containers which have pink glowing out of them will have a health drop. And then that also replenishes all of your like dash energy and the blue bars there. In case you need like 10 dashes in a row by now, whatever we have. Which honestly is definitely the case sometimes if you need that many iframes to get through a room full of stuff. So yeah, we're definitely playing it safe on this level, it being the hardest one. And the thing about this level, the boss of the level, you may think there's enough of these brown dagger throwing guys, but the boss of the level is just a giant one of those guys. And he has total like iframes whenever you hit him, unlike all the other bosses. So you can't hit him more than once in like a 5-second window or whatever. And you can't just run away from these hooded guys by going onto the next screen, because there aren't actually room transitions in this game. It's just a camera switching over, so all the enemies that were in the room before still can follow you in. So the entire layout of each level is actually all one area. Yeah, the enemies, luckily, when there's a room full of enemies, they can friendly fire each other, so that's good. Especially the fireball throwing ones. Alright. So we got the boss. Sneaking into the room there. I haven't actually seen that strat before. Sneaking into the room there to not quite activate him yet. That's pretty cool. See, it's nice to take him over on the right hand side. So if he follows you over here, which he isn't, where has he even gone? I did not know this happens. The enemy, the boss is like stuck in the spot, in the same spot. I said this game has janky stuff in it. Okay, if the boss decides to start fighting, then you can lure him over to the right hand side, where hopefully you get extra hits on him if he decides to land himself in that blood river, because that does damage him as well. There we go, like that just happened. We got a load of hits on him, he landed in the blood river. So yeah, this is definitely the most intense boss fight. Apart from the final boss where I suppose you have 1 health, so that's pretty intense as well. Or being stuck in the animation at the end of the boss fight there while there's still other enemies on the screen is always sketchy because they can still hit you and you can't move. Luckily we had a health to spare. So yeah, we're on to the second last level. So that was level 8 I suppose, I got them as well. On the second last level, the only enemies in the entire level are these ghosts. Oh, and these little old ladies with daggers which turn into the red enemies that you see on the boss door once you get the key. So clearing them out is always helpful to have less of those. Although they do drop health when you kill them, as they have red capes, so depends what version you want to fight. Yeah, I call them witch dagger enemies because they're like old witches that transform into. Yeah, because it's a reference to stuff in the game.
Yeah,
it's also...
topical.
Yeah. So the really nice thing about this level, you haven't even seen the really nice thing about this level. Once you get through the boss door, there's no boss fight whatsoever. Perfect. That's the fastest boss fight. Oh no, I should have come up with some story about how there's like a 1 in 100 chance to skip the boss fight entirely and just get out the door on the other side. But no, I can't do that. I gave it away. There's also, I don't think there's any pink containers, so we're down on 1 health. There's no pink containers on this level, so you have to only rely on the random drops which can come out of the non-pink ones, which we're not getting.
Is that true for the rest of the game?
Well, the rest of the game you only have 1 health anyway, so...
Oh, yes, a good point.
So, luckily the enemies can't come over the spikes here. Whether they're down or up, so... Using this for very safe strats. Being on 1 health. Nice, okay. Which means just the final boss to go, and hopefully if you dash right all the way up this final corridor, you get to chain them together into massive speed forward. Getting some of it there. Oh yeah, we need to stop and go to the side because it's the good ending. And we've been keeping track of this code that these little sneaky guys at the beginning of each level, or beginning of every other level has been given us. You have to hit these in the right order, hit these skulls in the right order, and that'll give you this final key, which is used to close the wounds of this mythical god creature who has been bleeding down the tower. And that will give us the good ending. So the final boss kills you in 1 hit, of course. But we've turned off the blood from getting the good ending, so he can't heal himself by dashing into the blood. And it's random whether he chooses to slash forwards, retreat back.
Is time on the final hit?
Yeah, a time is opening the final door behind him. definitely been a very like well played.
Oh man.
Congrats. There we go.
Oh.
Congrats. You didn't die. You didn't die at all.
Thanks for commentating, Fro. That was awesome.
Yeah, that's how it's done. There we go. Feel free to check out the leaderboards on speedrun.com. There's an extra tab in the Night in the Woods game as well, and I think you can probably find our details on our speedrun accounts there. But yeah.
Nice job. Harry, where can we find you on Twitch and social media?
You can find me on my Twitter at It's Harry Otter. That's ITS Harry Otter, all one word. And my Twitch channel is just Harry Otter on Twitch. You just search Harry Otter. And I love Demon Tower. I love Night in the Woods. Really fun game. And it's a really great opportunity to play for Fastest First for Life.
Sorry. Could you give us a sharkle? Everyone wants the sharkle. Come on. It's on screen. Perfect way to end it, if you ask me.